Welcome to the show. In this episode, we are going to look at our inquisitive minds and wonder where things come from. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button. It gives us a good idea of the type of content you like, so we can bring you more of that. I've always been wondering, how do oceans get their names? So let's dive right into how the Pacific Ocean got its name. The Pacific Ocean was named because Ferdinand Magellan thought it was pacific or peaceful. The largest and oldest ocean basin on Earth, the Pacific, has roughly twice as much water as the Atlantic. Yet, it didn't receive the name we know today until the 16th century. On November 28, 1520, Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly as I don't speak Portuguese, it might be Magallan. After sort of 38 days of weathering the treacherous waters of the strait, that's now named after him, at the tip of southern Chile, became the first European to reach the ocean by way of the Atlantic. Happy to have the harrowing journey behind him, he referred to this new ocean as Mar Pacifico, meaning peaceful sea. So while the moniker made sense at the time, today we know that both the Pacific and the Atlantic can be tumultuous at times. Yet, Pacific isn't the only name this big blue expanse has been known by. In 1513, 7 years before he glimpsed the Pacific, Spanish conquistador Vasco Nunez de Balboa led an expedition across the Isthmus of Panama and named the sea he found on the other side the far less poetic El Mar del Sur, or the South Sea. However, the most authentic moniker for the Pacific Ocean may be the Hawaiian term Moana Noaikea. Interestingly, this name, perhaps over 1,000 years old, is closely related to the Maori Te Moana Nui a Kiwa, meaning the Great Ocean of Kiwa, Kiwa being a Maori guardian of the sea. So while Pacific is the name most of us know, it's certainly not the one used by people who sort of mapped and sailed the Pacific's 63 million square miles for centuries before the Europeans arrived. And so, interestingly, Ferdinand wasn't the first person to circumnavigate the globe. So most people learn in history class that he was the first person to circumnavigate the globe during his famous voyage from 1519 to 1522. But the truth is a lot more complicated, as it often happens. For one, the famous or infamous explorer never actually finished the voyage from Spain to the Moluccas, the Spice Islands, because he was killed in the Philippines in 1521. So, another mariner on his expedition, Juan Sebastian del Cano, brought the Victoria, the last surviving vessel of their fleet, back to Spain in September 1522. But even if Magellan had survived that skirmish, the first person to actually circumnavigate the globe may have been an enslaved individual named Enrique, whom Magellan had seized during the Portuguese conquest of Malacca in 1511. Fast forward 8 years. Enrique served as an interpreter on Magellan's globe-trotting quest. After Magellan's death, Enrique abandoned the mission, only a few hundred miles short of Malacca. If he returned home in 1521, we'll likely never know. Then he'd officially be the first person to ever travel the entire globe. That brings us to the end of this very interesting episode of why it's called the Pacific Ocean. I hope we've all learned something. Keep being inquisitive. You'll notice the children ask numerous questions all the time. That's because their brain is still developing and they're soaking in as much information as they can. So don't think you're too old to learn something new. Make sure you head over to buymeacoffee.com/Samson King to make a small donation. We always appreciate it. Helps us with the channel. Make sure you subscribe and like this episode. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.